Unit 2.1. The Night the Ghost Got In. Glossary. Hullabaloo. Lot of loud noise made by people who are excited. Patrolman. A patrolling police officer. Attic. A space or room inside or partly inside the roof of a building. Slamming. Shutting a door or window forcefully and loudly. Gruffly. Sadly. Intuitively. Without conscious reasoning, instinctively. Whammed. Struck something forcefully. Beveled. Reduced to a slopping edge. Rending. Tearing to pieces. Yanked. Pulled with a jerk. Zither. A musical instrument consisting of a flat wooden sound box with numerous strings stretched across it, placed horizontally and played with fingers. Guinea pig. A domesticated tailless South American rodent originally raised for food. Hysterical. Affected by wildly uncontrolled emotion. Creaking. Making a squeaking sound when being moved. Indignant. Feeling or showing anger or annoyance at what is perceived as unfair treatment. Holster. A holder made of leather for carrying handgun. Rafter. A beam forming part of the internal framework of a roof. Deserter. A person who leaves the armed force without permission. A. Answer the following questions in a sentence or two. 1. Why was the narrator sorry to have paid attention to the footsteps? When the narrator was taking bath at 1 o'clock, he heard some footsteps downstairs. He assumed that it was of his brothers and father and later as boogalers. The narrator was sorry to have paid attention because he was confused at these footsteps sound. 2. Why did Herman and the author slam the doors? When the two boys heard the sound quickened as if they were coming up the stairs, they felt the sound had headed straight for them. So the boys ran back to their rooms and slammed the doors behind them. 3. What woke up the mother? The slamming doors woke up James and Herman's mother, who came downstairs concerned and confused. She asked them about their behavior and they told about the sound they had heard. 4. What do you understand by the mother's act of throwing the shoe? When she heard the boy's answer, she also became afraid and immediately assumed there were burglars in the house. So she grabbed a shoe and tossed it out of the closed window. 5. Why do you think Mrs. Bodwell wanted to sell the house? Bodwell had been in a bad way and was subjected to mild attacks. When they heard the sound of James' mother in an afraid tone, Mrs. Bodwell decided to sell the house and go back to Peoria. 6. How did the cops manage to enter the locked house? The police arrived promptly and they began at the front door. They shot streaks of gleam up from the flashlight and asked them to open the door. Finally, the cops put their shoulders to our big heave front door with its thick beveled glass and broke in. 7. Why were the policemen prevented from entering grandfather's room? The policeman heard the small silence and heard a creaking sound in the attic. The author thought to tell them about and realized that it would be bad if they burst in on grandfather's room unannounced. So the policemen were prevented from entering grandfather's room. 8. Who used the zither and how? ONW of the cops found zither which had been won in a pool tournament. The guinea pig would never sleep anywhere except on the zither. 9. Mention the things that the grandfather imagined. When the cops entered grandfather's room, he was going through a phase in which he imagined that he was in a war. There were General Med's men attacked them. He believed the cops had retreated them as deserters. B. Answer the following questions in about 100 to 150 words. 1. Describe the funny incident that caused the confusion in the house. James Thurber was a cartoonist, humor writer and a journalist, famous for his work in the 20th century. The story begins with young James Thurber, who is the narrator, hearing footsteps as he takes a bath. It was around 1 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was asleep. His brother was in bedroom down the hall, his mother upstairs and his grandfather in the attic. At first, James thought the footsteps might belong to his father and brother who were supposed to be back late in the evening. It wasn't his brothers or fathers. He thought it was the sound of burglars. The two boys waited at the top of the stair, listening for the sound of the steps. After waiting for a few moments, the boys heard the footsteps and were alarmed. Suddenly, they heard a sound running up the stairs. They both ran inside the room and found nobody outside. The slamming door woke up James and Herman's mothers. She also heard the sound and assumed it to be robbers. For seeking help from the neighbors, she threw a shoe at the closet window. Bodwell came to the wind furiously. After some initial confusion, he began to understand that there were no burglars in this own house and that he should call the police for the Thurbers. The confusion of sound of robbers made a confusion around the house. 2. Narrate the extensive search operation made by the policemen in the house. The police arrived promptly and swarmed the house, opening cupboards and drawers searching for intruders. James, who's still wearing only a towel, is thoroughly questioned by an officer who consider him a suspicious character. His mother tells him to put on his clothes until investigation continues. The police are on hand in a commendably short time, a Ford sedan full of them, 2 on motorcycles, and a patrol wagon with about 8 in and reporters. The police then come to the room of James' grandfather. At this time, James tells the reader that his grandfather has been going through fits where he believes he is in the war and that General Meade's men are deserting under fire from Stonewall Jackson. When the police come through the attic door, they immediately realize that James' grandfather is a part of the family. His grandfather is convinced that the police are deserters and after some yelling, shoots one of them with his gun. When I got to the attic, things were pretty confused. Grandfather had evidently jumped to the conclusion that police were deserters from Meade's army. Ultimately, the police found no burglars in the house and were confused as to how one of their men was wounded. The family returned to their respective bedrooms. After the incident, the policemen found no robbers and returned. Vocabulary. C. Look at the following expressions from the text. With the help of your teacher, rewrite them in standard English. 1 has been done for you. Muster got away, what did he like? Must got away, what was he like? Must got away, what was he like? Look here, Joe. No sign, no, nothing. No sign for anything. Back T, the lines ye goodam. Back to the lines of a goodman. What was the idea of all them cops tarry-hootin' round the house last night? What was the idea of all the cops trying to shoot in around the house last night? Complete the given tabular column with the suitable plural forms. Chair, chairs. Box, boxes. Eskimo, Eskimos. Lady, ladies. Radius, radii. Formula, formulae. Child, children. Dear, dear. Loaf, loaves. Hero, heroes. Listening. A. Listen to the story and answer the following. 1. The rich man was from. Answer, Thailand. 2. Where did Chulong catch the bird? He caught the bird in a bush. 3. Why did Chulong catch the bird? It was beautiful and a rare one. 4. What will happen to the bird in imprisonment? It will lose its beauty and sweet voice. 5. What did the bird suggest Chulong, in exchange for its freedom? It would teach 3 simple and useful rules. 6. Does Chulong want to earn money honestly? No, he doesn't want to. 7. What were Chulong's plans for the bird? With the help of the bird, he wanted to make money. 8. Who is wise according to you? The bird is wise. 9. Is the bird a crow? Yes, the bird was a crow. 10. What are the 3 rules given by the bird? The first rule is, never believe everything others say. The second rule is, never be sad about something you do not have. The third rule is, never throw away what you have in your hand. Reading. F. Read the incident again and answer the following questions. 1. What was the writer always asked to do whenever he planned to go abroad? Whenever the writer planned to go abroad, people asked him to bring back a vaccine for a course. 2. What did Gilson want the writer to bring for him? Gilson wanted the writer to bring him a tie with a small embroidered G of any color. 3. When did the writer remember the fact that he had to buy something for Mr. Gilson? When they were to leave on the Tuesday morning and when he saw the airport, he remembered about the tie. 4. Why were the other passengers in the flight gazing at the writer? The other passengers in the flight gazed at the writer because of his late arrival. The departure had been delayed because of him. 5. What is the humor element in the above incident? The other passengers in the above incident asked him whether he had found his tie. When he reached for the paper bag to show the ties, he realized that he had left it in the taxi. Grammar. A. Nagarajan and Dhanalakshmi want to buy a new house. They have come to see a house for sale. Complete the conversation below by adding a, an, or, the. Nagarajan, well, here we are, no. 8, Kaveri Street. I think this is the house we saw online. What do you think of the location? Dhanalakshmi, it is in a nice neighborhood. And it's close to the railway station. Nagarajan, and the bus stop is not too far away. Dhanalakshmi, how many rooms are there? Nagarajan, there are 3 rooms, a kitchen, and a balcony. Dhanalakshmi, there is a lawn behind the house, right? Nagarajan, that's right, the lawn is actually quite large. Did you see any photos of the living room, online? What does it look like? Dhanalakshmi, the living room looks great. It looks bright and airy. It has a nice view of the hills. But the kitchen looks a little small. Nagarajan, and, I remember you said there isn't a storeroom, right? Dhanalakshmi, no, but there is an attic, where we can store things. Nagarajan, I hope this house is a better option. Dhanalakshmi, let's wait for the real estate agent. She said, she would be here at 3 o'clock. Nagarajan, look, there she is. B. Few articles are missing in the given passage. Edit the passage given below by adding suitable articles wherever necessary. My neighborhood is a very interesting place. My house is located in an apartment building downtown near many stores and offices. There is a small supermarket across the street, where my family likes to go shopping. There is also a post office and a bank near our home. In our neighborhood there is a small, green park where my friends and I like to play on weekends and holidays. There is a small pond near the park and there are many ducks in the park. We always have a great time. In addition, there is an elementary school close to our home where my little brother studies in 3rd grade. There are so many things to see and do in my neighborhood. That's why I like it. It's really a great place. See, fill in the blanks by choosing the most appropriate prepositional phrase from the given options. 1. Everything falls to the ground because of Earth's gravitational pull. Answer, because of. 2. The trial was conducted in accordance with the procedure of law. Answer, in accordance with. 3. There is a temple right in front of my house. Answer, in front of. 4. As a result of his hard work, he achieved the target. Answer, result of. 5. Failure is often the reason of negligence. Answer, reason of. 6. Children are given toys in addition to sweets on Children's Day. Answer, in addition to. 7. The parents must be informed in case of any indisciplined conduct of their wards. Answer, in case of. 8. He didn't turn up due to his busy schedule. Answer, due to. 9. Global warming is an effect of the greenhouse emission. Answer, an effect of. 10. In spite of several warnings, he continued to swim. Answer, in spite of. D. Edit the following passage by replacing the underlined incorrect words with correct prepositional phrases. 1. Janu is studying in class 10. In the event of the teachers. According to the teacher's report, Janu is studying in class 10 too. She is a disciplined student. In addition to her poverty, in spite for her poverty, she is a disciplined student. 3. Is always neat. Many students like her in case of. Many students like her because of her neatness. 4. Her simplicity. According to her studies, she also. Apart from her studies, she also looks simple. 5. Participates in sports. She gets on with everyone in case of. For the sake of participating in sports, she gets on with everyone. 6. Age and gender in the school. In opposition to taking leave, she ensures. In order to take leave, she ensures with age and gender in the school. 7. That she completes the work given before she goes to school next day. In the event of completing the work given before, she goes to school next day. Unit 2.2. The Grumble family. Glossary. Discontent. Dissatisfaction with one's circumstances. Amiss. Not quite right. Growl. Make a low guttural sound in the throat. Grumble. A complaint about something in a bad-tempered way. Gloomy. To appear depressing or frightening. Queerest. The strangest or the most unusual. Acknowledge. Accept or admit the existence or truth of. Terrible. Extremely bad or serious. Wandering. Walking or moving in a leisurely or aimless way. A. Read the following lines from the poem and answer the questions given below. 1. There's a family nobody likes to meet. They live, it is said, on Complaining Street. A. Where does the family live? The family lives in a complaining street. B. Why do you think the street is named as Complaining Street? Because the people who live there always complain about anything and everything. 2. They growl at that and they growl at this, whatever comes, there's something amiss. A. What does the word growl mean here? The word grow here refers to the people's habit of finding fault. B. Why do they find everything amiss? The people's inborn nature is dissatisfied with everything. 3. Nothing goes right with the folks you meet down on that gloomy complaining street. A. What is the opinion about the folks you meet down the street? For the folks nothing goes right in their life. B. What does the word gloomy mean here? Gloomy here refers to the sad, dejected condition. 4. The worst thing is that if anyone stays among them too long, he will learn their ways. A. What is the worst thing that can happen if anyone stays with them? The people who stay with them not only will learn habit of complaining but also imbibe them in their heart of hearts. B. What are the ways of the Grumble family? The Grumble family's way is always looking at life with sad and dejected view. 5. And so it were wisest to keep our feet from wandering into Complaining Street. A. What is the wisest thing that the poet suggests? The people suggests us to keep away from the people who always find fault with whatever happens in life. B. What does the phrase, to keep our feet from wandering, refer to? The phrase refers here, not to have contact with such ill-willed people. 6. Let us learn to walk with a smile and a song. No matter if things do sometimes go wrong. A. What does the poet expect everyone to learn? The poet expects everyone to learn to be happy. B. What should we do when things go wrong sometimes? When things go wrong sometimes, we should see the brighter side of things and happenings. B. Answer the following question in about 80 to 120 words. 1. Write a paragraph on the Grumble family and their attitude towards other folks. Lucy Maud Montgomery tells us about the people who always find fault with anything and everything. The poetess begins with the idea that nobody likes to meet this Grumble family. He sarcastically says that they live in the complaining street, and never satisfied. They have the quality of discontent to the maximum. Whatever they come across, they say, nothing is right with the world, they feel that even nature is not proper in its form. Even if there is equanimity in all the dealings, they would complain that there is nothing to grumble about. In the long run, even they would change the other positive people whom they meet to their view of grumbling. 2. If you were to live in the complaining street, how would you deal with the people who grumble? If I were in the midst of these people who always complain, I would seek whether there is any reason behind their action of finding fault with anything and everything. If I could not find any reason behind their view, if it is their inborn nature, I would point out certain positive sides of things. First, I would tell them things they cannot change, like the weather, the sun, the rain, etc. The second thing is that their nature of grumbling would result in their ill health, like blood pressure, etc. The third thing is that I would inform them the society does not like to mingle with such grumbling and growling people. Thereby I would educate them how to live among the people. 3. From the poem, The Grumble Family, what kind of behavior does the poet want the readers to possess? In the poem, The Grumble Family, Luckmaud Montgomery tells us that there are certain people who always growl and grumble at anything and everything. If we go and have acquaintance with them, we the positive people would become accustomed to their habit of grumbling in the long run. So the poetess suggests that we should keep ourselves away from these people. We should never follow their habit of grumbling in our daily chores. We should frame a happy and glad mood even if we encounter certain drawbacks in our life. Unit 2.3. Zigzag. Glossary. Aboriginal. Native. Local. Sarcasm. Use of irony to mock or convey contempt. Fringed. Bordered. Plumage. A bird's feather collectively. Sludgiest. Wet mud. Grumpiness. Bad-tempered. Squirt. Spray. Coyote. A wolf-like wild dog native to North America. Streaks. Line. Strap. Tantrum. Outburst. Flare-up. Crinkly. Wrinkly. A. Identify the speaker character. 1. Even though I clearly said no. Dr. Krishnan. 2. The one that spits deadly poison straight into its opponent's eyes. Maya, fighting beetle. 3. Remember the tiny penknife he gave me last year. Maya. 4. It's Somu's thoughtless ways that reduce me to tears. Mrs. Krishnan. 5. Come in, Zigzag, come in, dear. YaKu, B. Read the story again and write how these characters reacted in these situations. 1. You're both quite mistaken. Dr. Krishnan, Zigzag is a harmless, unusual and lovable bird. Mrs. Krishnan, the favorite possession, he has given us absolute nuisance. 2. It's Somu's thoughtless ways that reduce me to tears. Mrs. Krishnan, to dump this multilingual, talking singing bird. Dr. Krishnan, we are sure to love Zigzag. 3. Just wait till Zigzag settles down in this new home. YaKu, you can have a great time listening to him. Aravind and Maya, they didn't wait more than 10 minutes. 4. Zigzag hardly never sleeps. Somu, I've never heard Zigzag snore. Dr. Krishnan, how to stop Zigzag from snogging. 5. You are an absolute treasure. Dr. Krishnan, why didn't you tell me you'd prefer to be at my clinic? Zigzag, Ziggy, Zaga, king of Tonga, brought up on compliments, didn't bother to reply. C. Complete the given tabular column. Arrival of Zigzag. Somu requested Dr. Krishnan to take care of his pet. Mrs. Krishnan was not willing to keep Zigzag. She was worried about her painting exhibition. Life of Zigzag at Dr. Krishnan's residence. Zigzag perched on the curtain rod and went off to sleep. When their maid switched on the fan, a slice of papaya splattered over her masterpiece, Sunset at Marina. Mrs. Krishnan was annoyed and called Mr. Krishnan to contact Somi. The email about Zigzag. Dr. Krishnan. Somu's reply surprised the Krishnans. The reply was I've never heard Zigzag snore. Zigzag at the clinic. When Zigzag entered the clinic, he went about the job. Gone was Zigzag's bored and grumpy expression. The bird looked happy and alert. After the family knew that Zigzag must be kept busy, they liked to keep it with them. D. Answer the following question in 1 or 2 sentences. 1. Why did Dr. Ashok's cousin call him? Dr. Ashok's cousin called whether he could keep Zigzag with him. 2. Mention at least 2 expressions which shows that Mrs. Krishnan was not willing to have Zigzag at home. She was busy with her painting exhibition. Somu's favorite possessions were absolute nuisances. 3. What other various pets did Somu have? Spitfire, insect-eating plant, penknife and boomerang are the pets that Somu has. 4. What was Mrs. Krishnan busy with? Mrs. Krishnan was busy with her painting ready for the exhibition next week. 5. What commotion did the boomerang cause in the neighborhood? Boomerang sliced through all the TV aerials in the neighborhood. 6. What happened when Somu left Zigzag with the Krishnans? Zigzag perched on the curtain rod and went off to sleep. 7. How did Zigzag communicate with the Krishnans? Zigzag communicated only in Snorish. 8. What was the email message sent to Somu by Dr. Krishnan? Dr. Krishnan sent an email to Somu asking him to stop Zigzag for snoring. 9. What did Aravind confess? Aravind confessed that he was looking forward to go to school as it was very calm. 10. Why did Mrs. Junjunwala buy the painting? Mrs. Junjunwala bought the painting because the papaya fell on the painting. A. Answer the following questions in about 100 to 150 words. 1. Write in your own words the various commotions caused by Zigzag at Dr. Krishnan's residence. Zigzag picked up a walnut and deposited the nut on the chandelier hanging from the ceiling. Later, it took all the fruits and transferred onto the blades of ceiling fan. Then, it perched on the curtain rod and went off to sleep. And the moment it fell asleep, it began to snore. It grew louder and louder. Everyone in the house tried their best to stop the snoring, but it ended in vain. Then, in the studio, it threw away all the papayas and bananas in the room. When their maid switched on the fan, a guava landed on her cheek and a walnut hit her forehead. 1 slice of papaya splattered all over Mrs. Krishnan's masterpiece. They froze in horror. These were the commotions caused by Zigzag. 2. What was the turn of events when Zigzag was taken to the clinic? When Zigzag entered the clinic, it went about the job. It warned all the patients to keep silent. There was pin-drop silence in the room. The clinic was a noisy place, but now it transformed into a calm place. Zigzag soothed the frightened patients, scolded the naughty ones and made the crying ones smile. It recited French poetry that made the children to helpless laughter instead of tears. Zigzag's bored and grumpy expression was gone. It looked happy and alert. Zigzag never slept or snored. 3. Narrate the story Zigzag in her own words. Dr. Krishnan, a child specialist, ran a clinic. His wife Mrs. Krishnan was an artist. She was busy with her painting Sunset at Marina. He had 2 children, Arvind and Maya. Dr. Somu was a friend of Dr. Krishnan. He was going to Alaska. So he asked his friend, Dr. Krishnan, to look after the bird, Zigzag. It was harmless, unusual and lovable bird. Dr. Somu got the bird as a compliment from an African witch doctor because he cured the son of the African witch doctor. Here, Mrs. Krishnan was not willing to keep it in their house. Visu, an old cook of Dr. Samu, took the bird to his house. Zigzag's full name is Zigzag, king of the Tonga. Though the bird knew 21 different languages, it refused to speak a single word. It climbed on the curtain rod and fell asleep. Then it began to snore. Then the bird picked up the walnut and all the fruits. LT kept them on the blades of the ceiling fan. When their maid Lakshmi switched on the fan, all the fruits fell down. One slice of papaya was splattered all over Mrs. Krishnan's unfinished masterpiece, Sunset at Marina. Mrs. Krishnan felt angry and told her husband she won't keep it anymore. For a change, Dr. Krishnan took the bird to his clinic. Zigzag felt happy and alert instead of a bored and grumpy expression. It went about its duty as it was trained. There was pin-drop silence in the clinic. Dr. Krishnan felt happy. At that time he received a phone call from his wife. She told that her painting was bought by Mrs. Jhunjhunwala for Rs. 5,000. This happened because of the zigzag. She also felt happy. So, they all accepted to keep Zigzag with them.